ready for this, Kenway?
Am I ready? Way aye, man, it's gonna have a packer. Hi guys, Model Muppet here, how are you doing? It was suggested to me recently by one of my old and rubbish fellow gamers that it might be an idea to do a bit of a tutorial for beginners to Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the naval combat. Now, I don't know, I might have missed the deadline here because there's probably a load of tutorials out there, but none of them are going to be as good as mine. Oh, actually, before I get into this video, can I just say I'm really chuffed at the minute because my son passed his driving test this week. And it's kind of a big thing to me. I've got a load of eyesight problems, so I've never been able to drive because of them. And it was just really awesome for him to pass it first go. Anyway, on with the video. I'm just showing this bit to show that I'm doing this with virtually no upgrades. I would recommend you get the hull armor upgrade before you start doing free roam. And you do buy the mortar. Now you need to be at it's about halfway through sequence 3 to unlock these things. But you're going to need them before you get sent on this mission to go and start destroying some ships. Now I'm going to have a look at each of the weapon systems in turn and talk about some kind of basics, because the game does throw you in at the deep end. Right, here I'm going to lead the attack with a chain shot. Now you don't switch between weapons in this game. What weapon you fire depends on what way you're facing. So when you're facing forwards, hold down L1, then hold down R1. Sorry, I had a mental blank. Now for the mortar, you want to hold down L2 and again R1 when you go to fire, and try and do them like a quick 1-2. You know what I mean? Like a quick left-right punch sort of thing. This here is heavy shot. You get that when you're facing to the side. That gives you firing a broadside. And if you don't hold down L1 to target, you fire your heavy shot. The game doesn't really make that clear. When you're looking at the back of the ship and you press fire, you will drop fire barrels. Now these are only really useful as the ship is very close to you, or perhaps sometimes when you've got little speedy gunboats bombing around. They're not the best thing, but they can work, like those hit in there. So this here is the aim shot. This is when you're firing a broadside and you hold down L1. So remember, if you don't hold down L1, you just press fire, you get the heavy shot. Otherwise, you get the aim shot. The aim shot does travel further, and it also has the advantage that you can aim it up and down a little bit. Now, the swivel shot has two functions. The function in this stage of the battle is that when you damage an enemy ship, you can target it onto that zone there. And you just do that by holding down triangle, and there'll be a white circle moves across to it, and then you release when the white circle matches the red circle. So it's quite straightforward once you get the hang of it. Now you will get incoming fire, of course. If you hold down square on the PlayStation, you'll brace and all your crew will duck down. Now when you're ducking down, you can't fire back, so you have to sort of weigh up the pros and cons. Are you better off just shooting and taking the damage, or do you want to try and mitigate any damage that's coming in? So let's get another aim shot on these. There's our swivel shot coming into play. I missed the brace there. Now we've got one gameplay mechanic left here, which is ramming. Now in this case, the enemy ship rammed me. Now, both ships will sustain damage when ramming, so if you ram another ship, you will take damage as well. Later on in the game, when you get a load of upgrades, you'll be fine. But at this stage in the game, I'd advise against ramming. Right, so once you've worn down an enemy ship, you get a chance to board it. Now, I pressed the circle as I was moving out of what we'll call the boarding zone. And that is only to the left and right of the enemy ship. And if you're new to the series, because I think that a lot of people might be lured in by the naval combat that are new to Assassin's Creed, and you don't relish too much the thought of fighting hand to hand, try and initiate the boarding sequence as far as you can from the ship that you're going to board. Once you've done it a few times, you'll get an idea for how far you can go. What you've just seen there is the absolute furthest that I've ever seen it in all the ship battles that I've had, where I can successfully trigger off the boarding thing. So we've got an objective here. I've got to kill 10 of the enemy crew. And what you'll see, because I've given myself a bit of time, I've got 6 of those 10 already killed by using the swivel gun. There's a few different ways of boarding the enemy ships. Coming up here is good if there's snipers up on these towers, which there often can be. Or the masts, I should say. I should have killed him straight away. I should have gone for a headshot. But I'm so used to playing my maxed out sort of characters where his gun would kill him with a body shot. But never mind, we get on with the job in hand. Do an air assassination for the last kill. Job done. How sweet is that? That's very sweet, Muppet. Thank you, Muppet. Yeah, I know, talking to yourself. Sure sign of madness. Once you defeat an enemy ship, later on in the game you get different choices. You can repair, you can reduce your wanted level, or you can even add it to a mini game called Kenway's Fleet. And I'll do a video on Kenway's Fleet as well. But for the early stages in the game, all you can do is repair your jackdaw. Right, so this is the ship we've got to destroy for this mission. This ship is a brig. And this is basically the highest level ship that you want to be aiming for at this stage of the game. So gunboats and schooners are good enough targets, and a brig. The next step up is a frigate, and the frigate can be a bit of a challenge at this stage if you're not familiar with it. I'd already played Assassin's Creed 3, which had a decent chunk of naval gameplay in it, so I was quite happy with the systems. So, a slightly different battle occurring here because we've got 2 ships to contend with. So I hit with a chain shot, but we're too close for me to be able to get the mortar shot in. I do try and get a broad shot in here, heavy shot, but I messed it up, you know. Now, with manoeuvring your ship, the ships don't behave exactly as they would in real life. Oh, hang on a sec. I just love that moment there. I don't know, it's just, there's something really sort of quite epic feel to it when you get this other ship suddenly come across your field of view like that. Now, this chain shot that you're firing, the idea of that is to slow down the enemy ship because it damages their sails. And it's like a temporary stun kind of thing. It's not very long at all, but it does slow them down for a little bit. It does have a little bit of a stun effect. What was I saying though? Oh yeah, the ships don't maneuver like they do in real life. I used to love sailing. And when you're floating around with a few tons of heavy boat, you can't just stop and turn on a sixpence. But for the sake of gameplay, they've allowed us to do that. And it's a good decision. But basically what it means is that you need to be aware of what speed you're going. You need to have situational awareness, and you need to know when to slow down. And basically, if you want to turn and get a broadside on somebody, keep pressing the circle until you stop and swing your boat around much quicker than trying to turn in a big circle when you're at full speed. There are 2 speeds that actually aren't available to you once you trigger combat. You can't let go of the wheel, and you can't go into what's called travel speed. Depending on what ship you're fighting, actually, saying that. Ignore that last bit, ignore that last bit. Oh dear me, dear me. Sorry, I'm just laughing at myself here. Sometimes I get myself mixed up when I'm doing these kind of things. And like, things come out and I don't know where they're coming from. Now, while we were engaged with that ship in the ship-to-ship combat direct like that, that enemy ship couldn't fire on us. But it will be able to as soon as we pull away. Oh, by the way, that was an awesome mortar shot there. With your mortars, try and aim a little bit in front of the ship, because by the time the mortars actually drop down, the ship will have gone past the point where it was, if that makes sense. And again, I've gone off on a tangent and forgotten what I was saying. Oh dear me. I should script these things out really, shouldn't I? It will come back to me at the end when I'm uploading the video. Oh yeah, when you disengage from a ship, right? So now we're going to go into this one and we're going to go into the shipboarding sequence. And once this happens, from this point, enemy ships can't attack me. But as soon as it ends, they can. So if you know there's other ships around, you know, as soon as the ship-to-ship combat sequence ends, get your motor running, get your sails up, and get moving. Because you will be a sitting target if you just sit there waiting, you know, picking your nose or picking your butt or whatever. Yeah, a bit of a fail there. I meant to pick his gun up, but instead I picked him up. Feel free to mark. So on this one I decided not to use the swivel gun. I've just gone for a full-on pagger, some full-on melee. I like to mix it up, you know. Get a little bit of gunplay in there. Get a little bit of dodge going. Get a little bit of kill the enemy while he's lying on the ground going. Counter attack, and we are done. I know some of my mates, especially one of my YouTube buddies, Janza, hi Janza, have been contemplating getting this game purely for the naval combat, and I'd be curious to know whether, now that you've seen the sort of naval combat mechanics broken down a bit, whether that's tempted you a little bit more to get it.
That was a rumble, by God. How do we fare?
I know when I first was playing this, I was spending literally hours and hours at a stretch in free roll. Just going from one ship battle to another. It was great fun. I had absolutely no objectives in mind apart from destroying enemy ships. If you'd like to see a sort of commentary talk over of later ship combat, leave a comment and I'll get on that. You know, I'll get some massive battles going. So yeah, see, I did a quick turnaround there by pressing stop and then turn the boat around and then get the sails going again. And you need to get used to doing that a lot in combat. Right, in this particular battle I'm going to use everything apart from the fire barrels. I think I didn't use here. Excuse me. But we're going to see everything getting sort of used one after another in quick succession. And it's pretty awesome. See what I mean about a 1-2 there? This ship that I'm battling now is called a Pirate Hunter. Once you get your wanted level up, Pirate Hunters will come after you. The higher your wanted level, the higher level ship will come after you. This poor bastard just doesn't stand a chance, does he? Yeah, I missed the brace there. Never mind, I'm going to get him. There we go, that'll learn him. Ready for boarding. Oh, one last thing I've got to mention as well. There's 4 legendary ships in the game. And I've got a video of defeating one of them. And last night I defeated another, and I was recording it, but the bloody capture thing didn't work. So I thought, oh, never mind, now that I've done it once I'll be able to do it again. And I went to do it again, but it doesn't give you the option. So I think you can only do the legendary ships once each. Man, that was That was a bit of a bummer, I tell you. Anyway, I'm gonna learn these guys for being pirate hunters. School him, school him. He's gonna get learnt as well. They're gonna get learnt. Everyone's getting learnt. Coming up to the end of the video now, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and a share and a comment and all that kind of stuff if you've found this useful, if you've enjoyed it. This is Muppet out. Take it easy. Ciao.